is ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Gift or Gete. The police authorities have paraded a female suicide bomber that was recently arrested in Kano. The girl, who was identified as Sarao Babagide, is 13 years old and claimed to have been brought from Bauchi to detonate the bomb in Kano. Police Commissioner Adenrele Shinaba confirmed that the girl was arrested before she could detonate the bomb vest she wore under her hijab. She was arrested on the day two female suicide bomber struck at the Kating Kori textile market in the ancient city. More details in our subsequent bulletins. A statement credited to the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Wale Oladipo, that the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammad Buhari, is semi-literate, is beginning to generate heat in the polity. Already, the Director of Publicity of the Buhari 2015 Support Group Center, Chidia Madwekwe, had expressed shock about the comments which he said showed the depth of PDP's understanding of his principle. Oluwaseyi Adegoke met with the chairman of the APC in Lagos and a political analyst on the issue. She filed in this report.
With the general elections gradually drawing close, and with many observers expecting an issue-based campaign to help Nigerians make a wise choice during the polls, the polity is daily being heated as politicians engage themselves in a bric-brac of all kinds. The latest, however, was an obvious indirect attack on the literacy level of the APC presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari, in a statement credited to the PDP national scribe, Wale Oladipo. The comment has again added to the list of non-issue-based campaigns in the run to the 2015 polls. The chairman of the APC in Lagos, Henry Ajomale, is taken aback by the comment, which he described as rude and condemnable.
You can't say in the name of politics and insult a man who has contributed so much to Nigeria development. He was the head of state, he was a minister, and he's above board. This is a man who is above, you cannot spoil him, he's above board. And for that, you cannot insult him. Even without his age, his personality is there as the former head of state. And you call him jackboot. He's a man who has sacrificed his life for this country in so many ways. I believe he's not trained well, he's not cultured. Therefore, he belongs to the zoo.
A political analyst, Bala Zaka, not wanting to appear partisan, says Nigeria is only interested in a candidate that will make the country better.
I think considering the economic situation of Nigeria today, considering the general security situation in Nigeria today, what Nigeria is after fundamentally to lead this country is somebody that has the creativity, right, innovation and the firepower to lead. That simply means credentials are one thing, but ability of somebody to convert credentials, whether academic, military, social or entrepreneurial credential to lead this country forward is what Nigerians are after. We are not interested, right, in paper competence. We are interested in practical competence as Nigerians today.
So, how many of Nigeria's politicians are ready to hearken to the advice of people like Zaka to desist from rude comments and focus on working to make Nigeria better through issue-based campaigns for the 2015 general elections? Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
State government has proposed a 2,003.7 billion naira expenditure plan for the 2015 fiscal year. The budget-tagged budget of conciliation and continuity has a capital expenditure of 130.9 billion naira and recurrent expenditure of 106.2 billion naira. Governor Mota Yero presented the budget to the State House of Assembly with a promise that attention will be paid to improving infrastructure in schools as well as the general development of the state. He also assured lawmakers and the citizenry of government's readiness to be transparent and prudent in its spending.
Mr. Speaker, the total budget estimate for 2015 is 203.7 billion. As part of our efforts at prudent management of resources, we have ensured that bulk of the revenue accruable to state is channeled to infrastructure development for improvement of the overall living condition of our people. In that regard, recurrent expenditure is being at 72.7 billion. This represents 35.72% of the total budget, while the capital expenditure estimate is put at a total sum of 130.9 billion. This translates to 64.28% of the budget.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege on behalf of myself and members of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, welcome Your Excellency to the Honorable House for the presentation of the year 2015 budget of the government of Kaduna State. We dearly thank the Almighty God for allowing us to witness this event. We are very hopeful that all the allocations contained in the year 2015 budget will be achieved, and Honorable House shall assist in that direction through oversight and further legislative process for the betterment of the electorate of our dear state. In my conclusion, the Honorable House is wishing Your Excellency, the good people of Kaduna State and the nation in general, a Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year in advance. Thank you and God bless.
Many residents of the Federal Capital Territory are critical over the manner some wealthy Nigerians and government officials raised more than 21 billion naira for the presidential campaign of the People's Democratic Party. They argue that it's not healthy for a country that is feeling the impact of the slump in oil prices, but some say it is not different from the practice in other developed democracies of the world. Payo Samo tells us more.
This is the fundraiser where over 21 billion naira was realized for President Jonathan's campaign for a second term. The huge donation does not appear to tally with provisions of the Electoral Act. A number of state governors also put in about 2 billion naira into the campaign coffers. At a time, Section 221 of the 1999 Constitution prohibits state governments from contributing to the election expenses of any candidate or aspirant. All these are coming at a time some FCT residents say November and December salaries have not been paid.
PDP is like an NGO. They need money for their campaign. They call well-wishers. They didn't force anybody. And they came and donated to them. So nothing spoiled. Nothing spoiled for anybody. If they got 100 billion, it's their own pocket. APC can equally do the same.
People who always want to contribute, I'm sure the person who may have done that has vision. He may have concluded that maybe PDP will continue, so let him invest so that he can be recognized tomorrow. So maybe the person must be a businessman.
It's a welcome development because even in overseas, when Obama was on their own, he even affected the Nigerian. We say that we must contribute anything you have to make the government fine.
Section 91 of the Electoral Act, as well as the provisions of the Code of Conduct for political parties and elections, also limit individual donations and contributions to a maximum of 1 million naira. But this does not seem to bother this politician. He says making donations to political parties is a global practice.
You remember that Obama had enough donation that at the end of his even victory, there was a surplus in the campaign fund account. So what has happened here is the right practice that is done in any democratic system, where people in support of a particular political party come out their money to support the campaigns. It is a marked departure from what it used to be, that the sitting government will just dip their hands into the coffers and use it to campaign. But PDP has shown clearly that even when we have the advantage of incumbency, we will still not touch public funds earmarked for other projects, but rather we will call upon our friends and supporters who God has blessed to help us fund our campaign movements.
There are others who are not convinced, like this man who does not see the basis for spending a huge sum of money on campaigns at a time the masses are suffering.
Some people come out to donate billions of naira. And the way I picture it, is the president is collecting money from the rich to buy votes from the poor. Now when he wins, the poor will pay back with their blood, because they don't have the money to pay, but they must pay back somehow, and that is the problem we have in this country. So the common man should just, galvanize now. They need to mobilize themselves, and say no to this impunity, no to this nonsense going on in the country.
As the country braces up for the 2015 elections, Nigerians are wondering whether the political class considers the feelings of the average people in the run-up to the elections. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
While friends of the People's Democratic Party were raising 21 billion naira for President Goodluck Jonathan, Buhari's support group have realized over 54 million naira for the presidential campaign team of the All Progressives Congress. Briefing journalists in Abuja, the APC flag bearer Muhammad Buhari disclosed that the funds were raked in through the efforts of 82 support groups across the country. While expressing his appreciation to the groups, the former head of state appealed to them to continue to make sacrifices for change.
Total membership in the region of 80,492,226 across the length and breadth of this country. We intend to use the registration and donation cards to enlist the members of the groups as volunteer change agents, and also capture the sufficient distribution of our donors. So far, so good. We have received donation of 54 million.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has fixed January 14th for hearing in the suit filed by former Minister of State for Defense Musiliu Banikoro to challenge the conduct of the recent governorship primaries of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State. Justice Ahmed Mohammed set the date on Tuesday after the plaintiff's counsel James Odimba had asked for the time to study a counter affidavit filed by the PDP. Banikoro had, in his affidavit, claimed that the primaries were shirked in favor of Jimmy Agbaje by party leaders and wanted the court to order a fresh process. But the PDP, which was directed to turn up or risk a restraining order, filed an objection which led to the adjournment.
Well, I don't have a practice of discussing matters in court on camera. The matter has been adjourned. No order has been made, and the court had offered an advice to the parties. Nothing is stopped. The political process is going on, and the injunction sought has been adjourned. It's not granted as of today, so it's still to be argued. So I don't normally argue my matters on the media, but I know that until the 14th of January, the court will look at the matter again. And of course, the plaintiff had informed the court of moves by the parties to take a second look at this case, whether it should remain in court.
CoreTV News on the hour. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Don't forget that you can also catch us on our social media platforms on Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News, on Twitter at CoreTV News NG, and on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV News. President Goodluck Jonathan has made a case for what he termed a hall of shame to document the names of criminals in the country. The president gave the suggestion on Tuesday while receiving a group of filmmakers, the legends of Nollywood, who were at the presidential villa to confer on him the title of Grand Patron of the Body. He argued that criminal acts would be less attractive for the younger generation if the names of known criminals are immortalized.
Your idea of a Hall of Fame, something I remember even when I was in Governor Bayelsa State, I was thinking about building a kind of a Hall of Fame and a Hall of Shame. But people will not want the Hall of Shame. I say, even these armed robbers have been shot. Let us write their names and their families in the Hall of Shame, so that people will know that don't go and they will want their children. Please don't go and bring bad history to this family, because when you do that, you put the family name there.
In a related development, President Jonathan Tuesday has hailed the cordial bilateral relations between Nigeria and Ethiopia, which has said has encouraged leading Nigerian companies to establish branches in the Horn of Africa nation. Speaking at an audience with the outgoing Ethiopian ambassador to Nigeria, Ali Sulaiman, he noted that economic ties between both countries have improved significantly in the last 3 years. President Jonathan also observed that the bilateral air services agreement, BASA, between both countries has resulted in regular flights from Addis Ababa to 4 major cities in Nigeria: Abuja, Lagos, Enugu, and Kano. Sulaiman, who served in Abuja for 3 years, told the president he was living with very happy memories of Nigeria. Fuel queues are again back on the streets of the Federal Capital Territory, barely a week after an oil workers' strike nearly crippled socio-economic activities in the Nigerian capital. This time, the cost of the fuel lines is not clear, although many residents are convinced the situation has to do with hoarding and panic buying. Basayem went round to fill the posts of FCT residents.
For the second time in less than 2 weeks, queues have resurfaced at several fuel stations in the nation's capital. But this time, it appears to be a case of panic buying, as motorists do not spend lots of time before getting the commodity. Commuters are also finding it difficult to move from one location to the other. Many of them have to literally fight to board the available vehicles plying the roads. With the current situation, some of the people who spoke with CoreTV News are at a loss on what could be the reason. This is because fuel still sells at the regular pump price of 97 naira a litre.
We experienced it yesterday evening. They have a long queue, people are suffering. Even just now, I left from NNPC until the thing went round. I came back here now and joined another line. They just stopped, say that they are no more selling. And there is fuel there. There's no reason they give us. They said they want to rest for a certain time.
And while the station manager declined to speak with the crew, there are speculations on what could be the reason for the long queues.
It has happened that the talk of fuel, the strike, at least about 2-3 days after, they said the strike is off and we're still experiencing the queue at the filling station. We doesn't know the causes.
The recent oil workers' strike may have come and gone, but queues are back and black market operators continue to have a field day. In the midst of this, Abuja residents can only wonder when it will all end. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Nigerians are known all over the world for their ambiguous nature, especially at this period of the year. Usually airports and bus parks in the country are very busy and filled with traveling holiday makers. The story, however, appears not the same this time around, as less a number of Nigerians have opted to stay back at home. Find out why as Omotayo Alo visited some motor parks in Lagos. She returned with this report.
This time of the year is usually the busiest, especially as Nigerians tend to outdo each other in last-minute activities. The rush results most often in heavy movement of human and vehicular traffic in major cities around the country. The traffic gridlock on the road at this time also leaves much to be desired as Nigerians sweat it out endlessly. In recent times, safety for all has become a top priority amongst Nigerians. The issue has become more serious in the wake of Boko Haram's attack on helpless people with bus parks among their major targets. It is against this backdrop that the Inspector General of Police, Sulaiman Abba, issued a security alert on soft targets, including motor parks ahead of Utide. The warning is a hint against possible attack on holiday makers, especially at motor parks and other places of public interest. These motor park operators in Lagos narrate the measures they have put in place to ensure passengers' safety.
Before the passenger enter our bus, we make sure they are being tested without gadgets. When we discover anything negative, we hinder him of not to enter the bus and alert our security men to arrest him. But thank God, since almost 3 or 4 months now, we have been using that gadget. Nobody has fucked with him.
We give our drivers fully orientation by not drinking when you are driving, and not to be overspeeding on the way. And at the same time, we are security conscious.
Though the security measures put in place were not evident at the parks when CoreTV visited, these passengers expressed confidence about their safety and are happy that the travel fares have not been hiked even in the festive period, as usually witnessed in the past at this time.
As for this bus, I have not seen something of such, but I can't talk about the other buses around here.
They are not going to increase their motor price. Everything is normal.
One of the drivers at the motor parks ascribed the low patronage to the poor economic situation in the country.
The transport is not go up at all because there's no passenger. If there's passenger, the reason why the transport fares go rise up before is that when the passenger come to the park, if they don't see motor, any motor that this is what I want to do, so they will avoid it. But as at now, there's no passenger now, see the motor, so the price is not rise at all.
With the countdown to Christmas and New Year still on, Nigerians, being the happy people they are noted for around the world, remained unshaky even in the face of unfavorable economic climate, though with caution over growing insecurity. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar wants Nigerians to celebrate Christmas with renewed hope for a better Nigeria. They also urged them to promote peace during the season of joy and good tidings. Atiku said in a goodwill message by his media office in Abuja that in spite of the difficult challenges, Christians and indeed all Nigerians should celebrate with hope and prayers that God will heal the land. He urged Nigerians, irrespective of their beliefs, to promote peace and harmonious coexistence. Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu wants Nigerians to use the festive season to pray for peace, love, and an immediate end to insurgency and bloodshed in the country. He made the call in his Christmas goodwill message to Nigerians. According to him, the season of Christmas presents Nigerians with another opportunity to make peace, show love, and work together to overcome the challenges of insurgency, terrorism and violent crimes. Ekweremadu ordered that because the people behind the heinous onslaughts against the nation have neither spared churches nor mosques, Nigerians must stand together against insurgents. He also cautioned against politicizing the war against terror. And that's it for this hour. Join us again. I am Gift or Gete.